7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Is she satisfied or dissatisfied? She is just a customer, just like everyone else. Like always, giving it to you raw and unedited. Over to you, the short one.
I can't believe I had to call the police. I mean, sometimes I feel like throwing my hands up in the air. Oh, hello, and welcome to this week's podcast. I hope everyone is warm because I'm trying to get warm. But you know what? I love this weather. I prefer this than the heat wave. I hate being hot. Because when it's hot, I just want to walk around naked, and trust me, that's a sight to see. And I see that all the time. Like, I've got a mirror right in front of my shower, and it's not a good look. But it's so cold. I mean, I'm having to put the heating on, electric blanket on, and a fan on, because I have to have, like, at least a little bit of recirculation of air. But it's freezing. Absolutely freezing. I mean, why don't you just snow? You might as well. Anyway, gosh, this is like typical British, isn't it? Talking about the weather. Always on the beginning of the podcast. Anyway, so what's been happening this week? Having to call the police, but anyway. So I just want to give a shout out to the butcher at Laws and Sons on Catherine Street. So, you know, I love it when I'm being recognised. Not for the podcast, but just, you know, I feel so valued. And I must admit, Laws and Sons, I think I can count on one hand of me going there. But it was so shocking for him just to recognise me. I mean, I'm really bad at faces. I probably would have walked past him, and I probably walked past a lot of people that I've encountered, but it feels so good. I felt like, oh wow. And just from a casual conversation, it then turned into me placing an order with him, you know. And the best thing about it is, like, he was like, whatever you want, just tell me, and I'll go and get it from Spitalfields. And yeah, Bob's your uncle. I mean, how cool is that? I mean, when I walk into a shop, you tend to think that whatever they sell is all that they do. But, it, you know, just by communication, I was then finding out that I'm not restricted to what is on offer in the shop. I can actually be like, okay, can you get me this or this or this? You know, and gave me his number, and he was like, you know, deliver it to you. I mean, wow. It's so cool. So anyway, so I placed my order for oxtail. I love oxtail, but I can't cook it. But I was going to give it to my mum for her to cook, and then I'll just get a little takeaway thingy and put it in the freezer, you know, and eat it when I went and all that kind of stuff. But I love oxtail. So I placed my order for oxtail and got it delivered. And just by that acknowledgement that he gave me, do you know what I did? I placed another order for the next day. Can you believe it? So easy. You know, from him, it's a good thing because, you know, he came to order me, like, he came to deliver me one thing. And there was me saying, actually, can I have some more? And then I went to go and pick it up the next day, and it was all great. It was brilliant. And then when I went to pick it up, we were talking a bit more, and he's going to try and get me biltong. And if you heard me in my previous podcast, you know I love me some biltong. Oh my gosh. I mean, yes, I know I can get it from St. Albans, that's where I normally get it from. But just by that recognition, I felt to myself, I mean, it was just like automatic. And you know what that turned to? Him getting a loyal customer. Just like that. Just by saying, oh my gosh, yeah, where have you been? I remember you, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm there sat down there thinking, oh gosh, who is this? Who is this? Butcher. Oh yeah, the butcher. Yeah. And then suddenly, the penny drops and there you go. There you go. So Laws and Sons, I'm always going to come to you. And oh my gosh, I'm going to be like, oh, I was even asking him things like, can you get caterpillars? And yeah, I actually meant it, because where I come from, we do eat dried caterpillars. Don't knock it, because Sainsbury's are going to be selling dried insects and stuff. So yes, they are people that consume that, and I'm one of them. The caterpillars, though, although the dried ants did look really nice. Just imagine that with a bit of salt. And I'm not even joking as well. I might go and get some. But I did say to the butchers that, can you get some? So fingers crossed. But the biltong, I can't wait. I just love a bit of biltong. It's so good. And you know what? I tried beef jerky the other day. Ugh, not the same. And, beef jerky is nowhere near as nice as biltong. Biltong is the mother of all dried meats. It's so good. It's just so, so, so good. So, yeah, that's all it took. Just a bit of recognition. That's all it takes. And especially if it's to me, because automatically I'm like, okay, you've won me. You've won me by just hi and a bit of conversation. You've won me over. How easy is that? And you also get a mention on my podcast. So Laws and Sons on Catherine Street. Oh, gosh. And you know what? My best friend who listens to my podcast, I was trying... cut a long story short. Every time I tell her something that I've discovered, it disappears. And I was trying not to tell her about Laws and Sons. Although I did point it to her one time when we went to Crafting Cleavers. But Laws and Sons wasn't open at the time. And I was hoping that she'd forget. But then now I've said it in the podcast. Laws and Sons, you got another customer, and watch out when she comes in. Oh, gosh, it's a nightmare. But she's lovable. Absolutely lovable. So I was in London last week, and I was going to central London for some, let's just call it therapy. And, oh my gosh, it's been ages since I've been on a tube, especially on a long distance ride. And gosh, everyone's so miserable. I was actually feeling homesick. Homesick. Do you know what I'm calling home? St. Albans. I was just sitting in the train, looking around. Everyone was just so miserable faced. I think that's, I know that I've got a resting bitch face, but not like these people. And, you try to smile, and people are just looking at me like, what? Do I know you though? That kind of look. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I've turned into a outer London, Hertfordshirean, St. Albanian, whatever. I'm losing my London bits. Oh my gosh. But I'm actually happy. That's another thing most Londoners don't say. They don't say I'm happy. They're not happy. I'm happy. Yeah, because I live in the best area in Hertfordshire. Absolutely, in the world. In the world, I don't know. I'm not a traveller, so I don't know. But anyway, so I'm trying to rush this podcast because I'm freezing. And I know you want to know about why I called the police, right? Anyway, so... So, let's talk about the refill pantry again. So the refill pantry, oh gosh, Tanya, the owner, and other members of staff in there. Oh gosh, it's getting embarrassing now. I only go in there to get the pistachios. But the thing is now, I'm getting pistachios for other people, like my mum, my best friend. I think the list is going to start growing. All because... And I must admit, and it's not just my review, but they said the same thing. It's not as good as the ones you get in the Asda's, the Sainsbury's or whatever. It's not the same. The refill pantry ones are better. And trust me, they are so good. You can't just take like 20. You've got to have like 100. Because everyone takes 20, right? The minimum, don't they? But anyway, but they are so good. Like, even when you find one that's not cracked, you kind of think, oh, damn, I've got to get another 10 more. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, they're so Moorish. I actually feel like some now, but I don't have any. But yeah, so, but you see, that's the good thing. Again, when you get recognition, when you make sure your customers feel valued as an individual. It's easy to make a customer feel valued, but as an individual, it's like a different ball game completely. Because now, look, literally people are saying to me, can you get me some pistachios? Yeah, can you get some pistachios? Or why don't you give me pistachios? Like, I'm supposed to know, by telepathic means that I was supposed to get them pistachios. So now whenever I'm on my way to London, I have to stop at the refill pantry, get the pistachios, as if the refill pantry don't have anything else. And I keep saying they've got other stuff in there, but you've got to come and get them. So already they're loyal to refill pantry without even entering through the doors, but they will be soon. And I'm like, just bring a barrel, because it's all done by weight. You can bring your own containers and stuff. It's like, just bring a wheelbarrow or something, or a keg, an empty keg, and just get your fix and just leave me alone. Like, leave me alone, literally. Okay, so let's have a quick break. So don't forget, on the website, God, I forgot what that was called, www.iamjustacustomer.com, and on the social media, on Facebook and Instagram, it's I Am Just a Customer. On Twitter, it's I'm Just a Customer. Now notice the difference. So there's no A. So it's IMJUSTACUSTOMER. Boom! I got it. So I'm just a customer, because someone else has got I am just a customer. Anyway, so again, where you hear this from, please make sure you share it. Don't treat me like a dirty little secret. Share it. And also do a review on the Facebook page or whatever. Just make a review, all that kind of stuff, and just share it away. Spread it like influenza, or I want to say Ebola, but I don't know if that's funny or not. Is it funny? Is it too soon to have Ebola jokes? I don't know. Okay, let's just pretend I never said that, if it's too soon. To just spread it like jam on toast. Yeah, jam on toast. Or peanut butter on toast. Or spread it like glitter over a unicorn, maybe. I don't know, but let's just get back to the show, yeah? All right, so... Whew. So, like I've mentioned before in my previous podcasts, because I live in the town centre, obviously I can't park at my residential establishment. So I have to park in another residential road, which is a bit like... My speed of walking takes me about 5-7 minutes. If you are a fast walker, or someone with very long legs, or, just somebody who has bad time management, it'll probably take you about 3 minutes to get to my car, to where I park. So I don't use my car that much. And that's why I've got a little tiny car, because there's no point getting a nice flash big car, because I hardly drive it. So today I was making my way to London, and I went walked towards my car, the road of my car, and I got to the road where I parked my car, and there was no cars. The only vehicle was this big beast that was tarmacking the road. Now, I thought to myself, where the fuck is my car? Where is it? But I didn't panic. Because, I got insurance and whatever. So where's my car? And the fact that everyone else, like the road was completely clear of cars. It only had this big juggernaut beast thing. I thought, okay, it's not stolen, I don't think. But where is it? So I went down the road, and at the bottom of the road, there's like a car park thing with my permit, I think, allows me to park in the car park. So I thought, okay, maybe this company who were moving the cars have moved it there. So I went to the car park bit, and no, my car wasn't there. So I thought, okay, right, now, as much as I love attention, I like to do things with a lot of style. I didn't want to look like I was panicking. So I tried not to do the whole, look like panically looking for my car or anything. Subtle left, subtle right look, and the left, like very subtly. And I was thinking, oh shit. What am I going to do? Now, all these workers there, that the road tarmacking people, they were just minding their own business. And because I think I must have didn't look like I was panicking, so they had no cause of concern. They were carrying on doing their job and everything. So I thought, okay, who am I going to call first? Not Ghostbusters, because, it doesn't look like a haunted thing. Let me call the council. So I called up the council, got through to the relevant department, and I was like, hi, well, where I parked my car, there's roadworks being done, and my car's not there. Where is my car? And they were like, sorry, don't deal with that. You need to speak to to Hertfordshire Highway Agency, something. And I was like, okay. And then it's like, I'll put you through. I thought, okay, thank goodness for that. Because I couldn't be asked with a pen, to be honest. My hands were cold. I was carrying a little suitcase thingy. And the sound of the wheels on the bloody floor was pissing me off already. So I was just like, oh, okay, fine. Put me through. So they transferred my call. Thank goodness it was literally one ring and they picked up. And they were like, Highway Agency, how can I help? That kind of thing. So I told them that, yep, where is my car? And they're like, unfortunately, we can't tell you where your car is, but we can tell you how long the roadworks are for. Now, I was like, don't really give a shit about that. I really don't care. I really don't care if it's a year, a week, an hour, a minute, a second. I just want to know where my car is. And the guy was like, oh, your car's gone. Now, at this point, I thought, am I speaking a different language or whatever? I don't know. Because I did mention, that was the purpose of my call. I just want to know where my car is, And I was like, yeah, my car's gone. And they were like, just hang on 1 minute. Now, while he put me on hold, that's when I thought, oh shit, I need to start panicking. If he's panicking, why am I so cool about it? So now my heart's starting to race. I was like, oh gosh, oh no. Yeah, and all I kept thinking is about, oh gosh, now I've got to go through insurance. I don't have time for that. It's bloody cold. I don't have time for that. So he comes back on the line and he says, well, you know what you need to do? You need to, and I was like, well, yeah, that's what I'm calling. Anyway, so he goes to me, you know what you need to do? You need to call the police. And I'm like, what? What? The police? And he was like, yeah, because number one, your car could have been stolen. And I'm thinking, for fuck's sake, now that's making me really shit myself now. Literally, I'm starting to think, oh my gosh, I need some anxiety tablets. I need something, just give me, I don't know, crystal meth. I don't know. Give me anything. I'll start drinking. Let me start drinking alcohol now. Let me start now. give me my first ever shot right now, And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, please, oh my gosh. And then he was like, or the company could have moved it, the people doing the work, they could have moved it. And I'm thinking, bitch, don't touch my fucking car. What do you mean move it? So I was like, okay. And he goes to me like, okay, I can hold on while you just look on the streets. And I was like, what do you look on the streets? Because you just look on every street. And I'm thinking, what the hell is this? St. King's Cross? I'm not a prostitute. What the hell? What, walking up and down little residential streets? What? Like an idiot. I find that kind of things awkward. I don't know why. I always feel awkward. But anyway, my little loud wheels trolley thing. So I'm like, oh gosh. So I'm walking with him, talking to him, and I'm literally saying to him, look, where I'm walking, these roads are long. So I think he realised, like, oh gosh, I shouldn't have said I'm going to hold on, because he, like, literally after that, he was like, okay, you know what you do? I'm going to leave you, but if you don't find it, just dial 101. And I'm like, great, thanks. Cool, whatever. So I go down 2 very long roads, and I'm talking about when you start from the bottom, you have to go all the way up and all the way back down again. There's no little side street so you can cut into the next road. Nah. You gotta go all the way up, and bear in mind, it's drizzle. And I've never understood drizzle. Drizzle, it's like, if you want to rain, rain. If you don't want to rain, don't rain. What is drizzle? Drizzle, do I bring out my umbrella or do I use my hood? It's like a complicated thing. Or maybe you don't even need to cover your head. And that was pissing me off on top of everything else, And I got my oxtail. All I want to do is just go and drive down to my mum's and give it to her. But anyway, so when I come down this long road, I look up and I can see the workmen were still there. So I thought, you know what? Let me do what I should have originally done. Let me ask one of the workmen. So I went all the way up. And I'm like, hello. And a lot of them had those earbud things, I guess, because of the noise level and stuff. So I'm going, hi, hello. And I'm doing that little wavy thing. When you're seeing like programs and the person looks so annoying, you kind of think, oh gosh, she's going to be annoying. And I'm like, hello. And like, wavy thing and thing, my little trolley. And, so one guy, stupidly enough, made eye contact. I'm like, hi. And he was like, hi. I was like, what happened to the cars that were parked on this road? Now, okay, let me describe this road very clearly, or I'll try to anyway. Where we were talking was at the kind of at the top of the road, which is a dead-end road. Now, to the left was, let's say, at the dead-end part. So you like 3 cars, and then the road stops there. And to my right, that's where all the road is, all the road, all the road, right? You get what I mean with all the road. Anyway, so I goes, what happened to all the cars? And he goes, oh, they could have been moved down there, like pointing his head towards the right. So I look down there. I know what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the rest of St. Albans, like the rest of St. Albans. And I'm like, down there? And he goes, yeah, down there. And he walked off. And I'm thinking, what the hell? This guy obviously thinks I'm going to walk on every single road of St. Albans. Like, literally. Do you know how big St. Albans is? I mean, I don't even know all of St. Albans. But anyway, so call up my friend and I'm like, can you come and help me? Like, at least 2 pairs of legs. It's better than 1 pair of legs, Can you come and help me in my car? So he's like, okay, fine, I'm on my way, blah, blah, blah. So he's making his way down. I'm updating my family on my cars thingy, and they're starting to worry, and that's making me worry even more, blah, 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 blah. So then I think, okay, while I'm waiting for my friend to come, I gotta call the police. And I thought, oh, gosh. Anyone that knows me, they probably thought, oh, she was loving it calling the police, just so that she can, like, talk about it for the rest of her life. Yeah, whatever. And I put it on my podcast too. So I dial 101, not 999. So dial 101 and you're being transferred to Hertfordshire Police. So police come on the phone. Hi, how can I help? So I'm like telling the story, my car's gone. Now, she then says, what's your plate number? Now, I know my plate number. Well, I've known it in the last sort of like 6 months, and I've had the car for a couple of years. But as soon as she asked me that, I forgot it. Completely forgot my plate number. And I was like, oh crap. So I gave her what I thought it was, but it wasn't the one. So I had to go, because, you know, some like Aldi in Kingsbury, when you go and park, when you pay for your stuff, you got to enter your registration number. So what I normally do is take a picture of my registration plate, because whatever. So I had to go through all my gallery pictures, and boy, do I have a lot of pictures, scrolling, till I eventually found it. So I gave it to the policewoman, and I did that whole, you know, A for Alpha, B for Bravo, C for Charlie, you know, that. And so she puts me on hold, she comes back, and she said to me, no, that car is not registered. I said, what do you mean it's not registered? It doesn't exist, that plate number. Now, I've had my car for, I think, since 2015, and I'm in good terms with the garage that sold it to me in Colindale, like very good terms. And I thought, the bastard sold me a dodgy car, and trust me, it's a reputable company, reputable garage, whatever. But I just thought, he sold me a dodgy car that doesn't exist. I bet you the VIN number, whatever that number that's etched to the engine in the window, I bet you that's. I was thinking, you know, I'm taking this guy to court, blah 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 blah. I literally, like, just on that. And then I said to her, I goes, really? I goes, no, but I'm looking at the picture of my plate number. It's not like I wrote it down and can't read my writing, or I wrote it down but wrong. I'm looking at an actual photograph used by an Android Samsung S7 of my car. And she said to me, yeah, it's not, can you give it to me again? So again, I did the whole alpha, whatever. And she said, oh, I wrote it wrong, sorry. Oh, jeez. That's the police. The police. I wrote it down wrong. I did the whole A for Alpha, blah, 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 blah. And she got the letters wrong, not the numbers, the letters. So then after that, she's like, okay, I've got it now. She asked me security questions, blah, blah, blah. Then she goes, well, it hasn't been reported stolen. And I was like, yeah, but I want to know where it is. And she was like, well, you need to call up the council. Oh, gosh, bitch. It was the council that told me, or the highway agency, that told me to contact you. She was like, unfortunately, we don't have those details. Because the highway agency had said, if your car was to be moved, that company that moves it has to tell the police that they're going to move it and where they're going to move it to. And she was like, no, we don't get that information. I was like, oh, give me strength. Like, I want to kick off, but I don't know who to. I don't know how, because it's over the phone. I mean, imagine, like, I'm on a residential street in the middle of it. Imagine shouting at someone on your phone. I mean, gosh, that's YouTube worthy. You look stupid. You look ridiculous. But anyway, so while I'm waiting for my friend, because it felt like hours, but it wasn't, but it felt like hours, I thought, okay, you know what? I'm going back to the workmen again, because I could see them packing up. So walked a little bit up the hill with my little trolley with the, you know, the sound of the wheels on stone. It's just a horrible, annoying sound. So I went to another person and I was like, excuse me, where do you take the car? And he was like, oh, your car's been moved. Well, duh. And he goes, oh, let's ask the foreman. I thought, oh, but why didn't the first guy fucking say that? So went to the foreman and he spoke on my behalf. He was like, this lady, her car was parked there, it's been moved. And the foreman was like, oh, what's the plate number? Gave him the plate number. He made a phone call, gave the plate number to the person on the phone and the make and model. And they were like, yeah, it's been moved to Old London Road. Just like that. Just like that. And I was like, You know, that moment, I wanted to hug this guy. I wanted to get on bended knees and propose to him. Like, literally. Not because he was good looking or anything like that. It was just because I thought, you're my hero. I've got to marry my hero. You know, us girls, we think of that when we were young, right? You know, I was just like, are you kidding me? That was it. And he was like, yeah. And I think I tried to look for that other guy, the first guy I asked, who was like just down there, but I couldn't find him. Yeah, you're lucky. You're lucky. Because at that moment, I would have kicked off. But anyway, in the end, found my car. They didn't park it properly, to be honest, because I like to park very close to the curb. Wasn't parked that way. But yeah, and then that was it. But yeah, I know I should have asked them when I first saw that my car went missing, but I didn't think that it would have been an ordeal. And all I keep thinking was, forget that. What if I'd arrived after they left? What the hell would have happened? The council can't help me. The highway agency can't help me. The police can't help me. I mean, at least to the council and highway agency, yes, putting a postage stamp and writing a letter takes time and money. But you've got my email address. You know, when I did my permit, you know, we were emailing each other back and forth and everything. It would be nice for you just to notify and say, hey, on these days, these certain roads are going to be blah, 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 because we can see your permit is in connection with these roads that cars will be towed away or whatever, moved to one side if they're not connected by this. That's all it bloody takes. But the good thing is, I got to call the police. And it wasn't even like a bad crime that was committed. But look at me. I called the police. Do you want to hear my story? And on that note, guys, I've got to go because I'm literally freezing. Because I've got to put my heating on, my electric blanket on, and everything else on, and just warm up a bit. So until next week, love, peace, and hair grease.
Oh, this you crazy mother.